Well, it's time for another gardening week, and one of the things I'm having fun playing around with at the moment is this kind of idea of growing in these little tiny thin beds rather than my normal sort of size beds, just to reduce the amount of weeding and watering and all that needs to go on. This previously had beans in it, and just sort of scraping out the top layer of soil so that I can feed it, because I'm going to put my early peas in here, and they're looking quite nice. They're ready to be planted out now, but obviously I need to give them some protection. So my idea is, which I've never tried before, is to wrap plastic around the outside of here, and sort of support it on these canes, to stop it flapping around too much, and kind of hold it in place with these bits of old tile batten from the roof in project last year, and just kind of create like a mini, polytunnel for them effectively. So I'm going to feed this little tiny bed with this Marshall's Organic Extra, which is kind of concentrated, it is a concentrated farmyard manure with seaweed, composted with seaweed. And so it's really concentrated by comparison with, uncomposted farmyard manure. And ideal really for a tiny little bed like this. And of course, as soon as the plants have kind of got themselves established, they'll be down here underneath all this wood chip. So all the kind of goodness of 6 inches of composted wood chip, or progressively composted wood chip, because like down here, it's quite nice. So that's my theory. They get advantage of the deep roots being fed by the wood chip paths, and I get the advantage of very little weeding and very little watering, because obviously the kind of soil that the roots are in is protected from water loss by all this wood chip. That's the theory, and it did work pretty well actually, to be fair. When I tried it last year with the beans, they didn't hardly need any watering, and they grew really well, and they got a really nice crop, and it took up effectively no space. So the peas are sort of 2 to 3 peas per module. I just laid them all out here so it's easy to pop them in. I'm kind of planting them about one every 6 inches, something like that. And I've got 2 successions, just so I get a slightly staggered harvest, because actually this is a lot of peas to eat fresh. I've actually got 2 more successions on the go. One that's just in flower now in the polytunnel, so in the greenhouse, and one that's just sort of growing on just a little bit further on than these. And you can see why I really like wood chip when I've got bare legs. It's such a nice surface to kneel on. So one thing the way that I support my peas is between strings, and so I want to run the strings around these canes and then around the end posts like this, loop them around loads of times, and that'll provide some support to the peas when I take the plastic off, so they don't all sort of flop over on me. And then I'm actually going to pull them in, probably with towel battens and string as well, and they'll just grow up in this nice sort of narrow area between the 2 posts. So we'll see how that goes. Right, so that's looking okay. These are reasonably taut. I'll take the canes out probably when I take the polythene off, and I'm expecting the peas, to take the polythene off in about middle of April, something like that. By then I should think the peas will be about this high, So I don't need any more strings than this, and obviously I can add some if I want to. I'm going to put the polythene in just a bit less than a metre tall probably, and clip it to these boards at the bottom there, just so the wind doesn't get underneath it. As I say, it's all a bit of an experiment, but I'm excited. And at this side here I've got autumn fruiting raspberries, and obviously I need to put support wires in for those, but I'm again hoping that I don't need to put the support wires in for those until I've taken this support sort of structure out. But if I need to, I can work around that. So there we go. At this end I've just wrapped it and stapled it around a batten which I've attached to here, and at this end basically done the same and just sort of trapped it between these two battens here. I think it seems pretty tight. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And now I'm just going to use these little clips just to hold it down a little bit at the bottom. These will probably fly off if there's a really bad storm. But I think they might be alright. So hopefully the peas will be happy growing in there. So next up, I had a bit of a windfall. These pallets arrived on site for recycling, and the pallets I'd previously had on here had all rotted, and so I thought I would extend this to the end here. So I've got 3 pallets along here, which provides just this incredible platform for putting seedlings out, putting trays of lettuces and spinach and things like that out in early autumn, to move into the polytunnel later on, putting carrots out. Basically it's like a protected platform, too high for carrot fly, too long a journey for slugs and snails, and just really convenient for me. I also like to do a lot of harvesting onto here, you know, collecting up all my harvest veg and things like that. So what I need to do now is figure out how to get the cold frame tops that are stored down there out underneath here, which means removing all this stuff that's down here and using these as sliders, so I can slide the cold frame tops out. Hopefully I can do it. Well, that didn't work, but that's what saws are for. So just chop that off and it works great, and that just sort of slides, these slide out. Perfect. So now I've got to do a bit of tidying up. Got all this stuff down here. It's a right old mess, loads of old carrot tubs and things like that. I'm just going to turn all these back into the compost, chop up any old carrots that are left in them. There's a few giant ones, but yeah, like this, get rid of those. And yeah, just give everything a good clean and tidy. Well, that's marginally tidier, and I've got all my pots ready now to start filling with new compost for carrots and potatoes. This is my new compost bin, and it's looking all right. A few carrots that are worth saving. I do tend to get into the very bad habit of storing things in here rather than growing things. So I've just given it a good clear out. I'm just clearing out these middle row now of Asian greens so that I can get my calabrese in. Looking forward to that, and I'll kind of see if I can do something about all this mould as well. When I first tried calabrese underneath here, I didn't think that it would do very well, you know, because it's obviously a bit shaded by the trestle table, but I was actually surprised. It does, you know, perfectly well, really, quite acceptable. And timing's nice. If I put it in now, then it's just sort of finishing by the time I want to get this replanted, you know, with melons or courgettes or tomatoes or whatever I decide to put in here. I'm kind of tending towards melons at the moment, but you know, I don't like to tie myself down too much. And obviously I just leave all these other Asian greens in until they either go to seed, which won't be very long now actually, or the calabrese need the space. And then as always, when I'm planting brassicas, I just sink a pot in ready, so I can just drop them straight in. I just find it's the neatest way. Helps me get all my spacings right and everything. And these are the plants. Calabrese Marathon, sowed 16th of October, and they're all looking reasonable, not brilliant, looking reasonable. So I'm just going to drop these in the holes. Nice little root system. Plant's a little bit dry, but the ground's lovely and moist, so I will just water them in a little bit. I don't need to water them very much, as I say, because the ground's lovely. I just popped a little bit of blood meal, dusted the holes with blood meal just to give them a initial start. I might eventually take these trestle tables out later on in the spring when I don't need the space. I'm really happy to have got this done. It's really nice to be preparing for these spring harvests now. It gives me a real sort of psychological boost to be working on jobs for spring. It always feels to me, because I grow so much undercover, that spring really starts in about the middle of February rather than in March or the middle of March, depending on how you think about it, because that's when everything really starts to grow with some vibrancy. I don't plant them too deep because most of the nutrition is near the surface, and obviously they're not going to be rocked by the wind or anything like that, so I just earth them up a little bit around them. Now I've got some spare peas and nowhere to put them, so I'm going to pop them into this container. I'll probably put some canes in later, I might do it today. And it'll be interesting to see, actually, to compare the results of these with the ones that I've got outside. I will move these outside as well in April. I don't think peas do so well, really, in a polytunnel or a greenhouse. Once we get to April, they're happier outside. They're a cool weather crop. Yeah, I think it's going to work out nicely. I think I'm going to have a lot of early peas this year, by the look of it. And I am not complaining about that, because we're all big fans of fresh peas. I don't like cooked peas, but I really like them fresh. As do the grandkids and all the kids. Well, a week seems to have flown by. We just arrived at harvest time. So I'll just quickly go through what we've got. So we've got all these spinach and chard leaves. Spinach harvest is really starting to pick up now, actually, so I'm quite pleased about that. We've got a few beetroot out the ground, still got plenty in the store. All these onions and garlic from the store. I think there's a few shallots in there as well. The big carrots for cooking, and yeah, Brussels, and the little carrots for salads, and a few scrappy potatoes, although they taste fine, just don't look so good at the moment. I'm going to start harvesting potatoes from the ground soon, from my containers, and they should be in slightly better condition than those from the store. Yeah, all these lovely salad greens, so spinach, red stem pak choy, there's some tatsoi underneath there as well. Baby beet leaves, looking absolutely lovely. Oh, there's a tatsoi. And some more spinach, and lamb's lettuce, a few leeks, all the lettuces. So I'm going to make up all those salads in a second so that you can see the result. And God, we are short of brassicas. So short of brassicas. We've got kale, we've got sprouts, and we've got that little bit of red cabbage. We've got one red cabbage left. We've got a reasonable amount of kale left. Got quite a lot of sprouts left. Got a lot of colettes, which I'm kind of holding in reserve because they keep so much better than sprouts into spring. And then they burst into leaf, so hopefully we'll like those. And I've also left the top sort of 10 sprouts on all the sprout plants, so that they'll burst into leaf as well. And I've got some red cabbages on the way, I've got spring cabbages on the way, I've got Savoy cabbages on the way. And I've got a few kale plants, so yeah, but we're actually much shorter this year somehow. I'm not really sure what I did different this year, but we seem to have a lot less brassicas. And but we have got purple sprout and broccoli just starting to come through, so maybe we'll be all right in the end. Right, so there we go. My name's Steve. This is the Outgrow channel. I've changed my name. I'll see you soon.